All right, look, I know it's Sunday. I know football's about to start. I'm not here to encroach on the most incredible and anticipated day of the week. Best day of the week, Sunday. Hit the like button if Sunday is the best day of the week. But we have some breaking news. We have breaking news anytime it feels like breaking, and I have sent the link out to several people. I've sent the link out to Dick Smokehan. I've sent the link out to Biker Sean. I've sent the link out to Ant-Man. I've sent the link out because I just learned something this morning that's going to be incredibly valuable for the Chad Duke Show. So I don't know how long we're going to be here today. I want to watch football, so probably not that long. But I would be remiss if I didn't convey my excitement, specifically based on what I just learned. Oh, first and foremost, happy birthday to Grant and Danny's biggest super fan, Tony Slices. Everybody knows that Tony Slices, next to Hotman Ted, is the biggest Grant and Danny fan in Washington, D.C. He never misses an opportunity to go out and go to one of their live events or spread the word, all that good stuff. And we also know that he worked a scam with Jim Jester when Jim Jester used to work at 106.7 The Fan, and he would run the board for Dan Kolko's baseball show. We know that Ant-Man would get Jim Jester to give him the autographed baseballs that Dan Kolko had secured from the Washington Nationals out as prizes. Fireable offense. Luckily, Drab T-shirt finally followed through and dispatched Jimmy. Not for that. I don't think he'll ever be brought up on charges for that. Should be. But yeah, I hope, since it's Slice's birthday, I hope he figures out a place in a space and an opportunity to grift more stolen merchandise away from the people that actually listen to the show. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Here's a picture I wanted to show you for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Why would I show you this picture? Well, it comes to bear. It comes to bear when you learn what I learned today. And that is, for those of you that are unfamiliar, this is Brian from Natural Red Catering on the left. This is Neil from Grand Slam Barbecue on the right with a bodacious blowout. And they're friends of mine. I enjoy both of these gentlemen very much. But they are not what we would say are traditional gentlemen of smaller carriage. They're gentlemen of larger carriage. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We can smell our own. But the reason why I thought it would be important to give you some context for this is that I think I've come up with the best radio promotion of all time for the 49 of you watching on YouTube. Can't happen today, But I am going to set it up today and then go into the details on Monday's episode of the Chad Duke Show. So, for some reason, you're kicking around before football, and you've happened to stumble across this link. You don't need to send no super chats. You don't need to send no Venmo. There's only one thing that we ask of you, and you know what that is.
I need you to smash that like button, you craven milk sopster.
So, I got a call. No, I didn't get a call. My wife came down the stairs and her face was split. Why did they get the chocolate cake? Anybody? For some reason this morning, my wife was texting with one Hot Man Ted. I think most of you are familiar with the workings of Hot Man Ted. He is a smaller gentleman, tiny in stature. If I was a responsible broadcaster, I would have already had this pulled up, but now that we have this time together, I can not let that stop me from doing it right now. I would assume most of you are familiar with the machinations of the Big Tuna, but if you're not, he's a very nice gentleman. But when I say that he is tiny in stature, you must believe me. He is a smaller man, and I would say no larger than let's go ahead and say 5'4", and I would say roughly about 120 pounds, if I had to guess what Hot Man Ted is. And there's no shame in that. I would just, the way that I would describe him is the exact opposite way that I would describe the other gentleman that I've already showed you pictures of today, that being Brian from Natural Right Catering and Neil from Grand Slam Barbecue. And just for context's sake, I'd like to back up what I'm claiming with receipts. I have been able to find some photographic evidence, and hopefully this will help you guys understand why I'm so excited about what I have to tell you today. And, far be it from me. This is Ted. So, as you can see, there's a slight difference in the size between him and these gentlemen. So you might be wondering, what does that mean? Why are we here? Well, that's a great question. I do want to show you this before we get to that. So for decades now, I would say it borderlines decades. This is my favorite Ted pick of all time, possibly. This is where Ted is wearing a Captain America motorcycle jacket as we sit out in front of the Whole Foods in Fair Lakes in the middle of winter watching football outside, surrounded by mixed race children. Anyway, Ted's a smaller gentleman, and he's a millionaire, self-made millionaire, and I've never held that against him. I love the fact that my buddy Ted is successful, and I love the fact that he has done well for himself, despite of his tragic upbringing. All kidding aside, Ted's fucking childhood was not the best. And I would say, borderline abusive situations the entire time growing up. And he fought his way out of it and worked hard and battled through his autism. And now he's very successful and he's providing for his family, and it's all good. About 20 years ago, when I first started hanging out with the Hot Man, he bought a Lexus SUV. And at the time, I assume it was cutting edge, but it was very, very small. And nobody could fit in it. Like, I think I wrote in Ted's Lexus once, a very famous story if you subscribe to my show. He almost drove myself and my wife, and I forgot there was another person in it, but he almost drove us into the ocean because Ted can't drive and Ted can't see and his feet can't touch the pedals. So when we were crossing the beach road to get into, to turn right and go to a bar in the Outer Banks, Ted gunned it and headed straight for the dune. And we almost went into the ocean, at which point I got out of the car. I made Ted get into the passenger side, and then I drove his car the rest of the way to Lucky 12 Tavern. So, neither here nor there. Point being is, I am not, as much as we like to tease and have fun, I'm not I'm not. When somebody does well with their life, I'm happy for them. I really am. And Ted's done well for himself. But for the last 20 years, Ted has driven the same Lexus SUV. Now you say, Dukes, those things last a while. True. But technology changes, right? Like driving around in a car in 2026 is vastly different than driving around in a car in 2006 or whenever he bought the Lexus. There's just new shit. There's new shit that goes into cars. There's Bluetooth things, there's key start things, there's big, beautiful display screens, there's symbiosis between your devices and your automobile. There's remote starting thing. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? And that's before you even get to now just speaking into your car where you want to go and then taking a nap and it drives you there. Like, is that legal or not legal? Like, I see lots of different people debating whether or not that's something we're allowed to do. But then I also hear lots of different people saying they're currently doing it in their truck. I won't blow the spot up, largemouth ass, Iron Mike Sleep. But I've heard this from people. And what I said to Ted was, Ted, I know you want to squeeze a quarter until the Eagles shits. Like, to say Ted is thrifty is being kind. But why don't you treat yourself to a nice new automobile? You can afford it. It's not pocket watching for me to say. You can afford it, not have it change your lifestyle at all. You can pay cash. If you want, you can buy pre-owned. You can buy brand new off the lot. Nothing. And then you'll have all the stuff. Just because the Lexus continues to operate, it can operate for somebody else that can't afford a nice new car for themselves. And then you'll have all this stuff. You'll have all the seat warmers and the massagers and blah, 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 blah. He would never do it. Fought me tooth and nail. Said that he loves his Lexus. It has everything that he needs. Meanwhile, when you get into it, everything's like push number 6 to tune into 98.7 WMZQ. Make sure you use your tape deck adapter if you want to listen to your Discman. The shit was atrocious. So this is a battle that I have been waging for quite some time. Fast forward to this morning. My wife, for some reason, is texting with Hot Man Ted. I don't know why. Perhaps it had to do with potentially finding more Dan Kulko baseballs for Tony Slices and Jim Jester to grift. But I don't know for certain. But as she's texting, I think I was playing with a dog or something. She says, "Did you know that Ted bought a new car?" And I said, "No, that's fantastic news. Like, that's great. Ted bought a new car. Like, this is something that I've wanted for Ted for a millennia." And she said, "Yeah, he's texting me that you're going to be pissed when you see his new car." And that stumped me. I was like, I wonder why. Unless he bought a Toyota Tacoma, which apparently is the universal fucking pickup truck for the camouflage croc-wearing, ankle sock rocking fucking tards that enjoy my program. No disrespect. The only thing I could think of that would make me upset that Ted bought would be a Toyota Tacoma. And then he bought himself a pair of orange Crocs to walk around while he's driving it. And she said, no, he bought a BMW. I said, wow, that's nice. Well, good for him. You know, that's a nice car. German engineering. What's not to like? I said, what BMW did he buy? And so I don't know a lot about foreign cars. I'm not a big, everybody knows. I feel like foreign cars go out of your way. They're like those speakeasies that don't have a sign above them where everything's named the S4 and the X5 and the 5.2. And my brain doesn't work in a way where I can remember that shit or that I care to. So she said she bought a BMW and I got the model number and I pulled it up. And for those of you that are familiar with BMWs, you probably already know about this automobile. I did not. This is Ted's new car. And it is a BMW. It's an X4, I think. This is, without a doubt, the tiniest SUV I have ever seen in my life. And it was listed on the internet as an SUV crossover hybrid. I don't know how they describe them now. Ted bought a white BMW X4. Now, you say, Dukes, what's the big deal? Couple of things. One is, I have no fucking idea why for the past 15 years of my life, every adult heterosexual male that I know, when it comes time for them to buy a new automobile, they buy a tiny white SUV. I don't think you gotta put coexist bumper stickers all over the back of your fucking car. I don't think you have to spray paint the Mandalorian on the hood like Wesley the Barber to show some personality when you pick out a conveyance. But I do believe that it says something about your creativity and your personality if your gut instinct when you go to the CarMax is to gravitate towards the effeminate tiny white SUVs. I do believe that. And if you're going to buy a car like this, I don't know why you wouldn't want it to have a little more personality. That's just me. Secondly, you really must not care at all about your passengers if you buy a car like this. I'm going to try to take this slowly, step by step. You must not give a fuck that everyone else on earth is taller and heavier than you, including most women. This is not an automobile built for American men. This is an automobile built for Asian women, which is fine, but it continues to be the conveyance of choice. Now, I'm not saying Ted's got to go out and buy a Laramie Longhorn edition and then strap some wooden blocks to his feet so he can work the pedals. You don't have to go that far. You don't have to overcompensate. I enjoy driving around a big pickup truck. It has its benefits. Look how tiny the storage area is. Like, if you're going on a trip, you're renting a car. You ain't going nowhere and spending a week with this motherfucker. And I just don't understand the notion of it's comfortable for me and nobody else will ever be in this car. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I always think that passengers are something that should be taken into account when buying a car. So Ted buys this tiny fucking little bitty speck of an SUV. He's a tiny little man, and that's fine. It works for him. I'm sure the gas mileage. Look at that back seat. Who in the fuck can sit in that back seat that has ever darkened the door of a Western Sizzlin'? If you've eaten at the Old Country Buffet in the past, look at this dweeb, in the past calendar year, this tiny little wooden coffee stirrer of a man, his head is butting the top of this automobile. If you know what Stuckey's is, you're not going to be able to fit into this. And listen, we're too fat as a nation. I'm too fat. Everybody's too fat. I'm not saying we all need to start buying bigger and bigger shit to accommodate fat people. But what I am saying is we exist in a world where other things happen that aren't just what's going on with us right now. So buying a car this size, unless you're driving around the guys that were sleeping in Kramer's dresser, I just don't know how it's going to work. So I find out that Ted has bought this BMW X4. And the first thing I realize is, A, he'll never drive any of... Look how tiny that screen is. I mean, I don't want to shit on this car. What is this retail for? It's a BMW, so I'd have to assume BMW X4 fully loaded price. All right, so we're looking at 100. There's one for $86,000. Here's one for $111,000. That can't be, can it? Okay, here's one. Oh, it's used for 50 grand. So loaded, these things look like they're, the price of a well-equipped pickup truck. Hello, Biker Sean. How are you?
Hey, buddy.
So I'm going over this, and I'm trying to make heads or tails, and I've set up the whole situation where, in theory, Hot Man Ted buying another tiny SUV makes sense because he's a tiny man. But when you do that, you are making the statement that nobody will ever be comfortable in my car. I will not drive any of my friends anywhere. And the only thing I think about when I'm making decisions like this is myself. And I just think that's got to go hand in hand with the fact that I am happy that a guy that we know that's a multimillionaire, I don't know too many people that are better off than Ted, has been driving around in a 20-year-old Lexus SUV the entire time we've known him. So I'm trying to go through this whole process and work it out emotionally.
Look, I'm very glad he finally got a new car. I think he chose probably of all his options the worst one. Of course, I hate German vehicles. They're horribly uncomfortable. So here's what I can tell you, right? I'm sure this is very comfortable to Ted. If you
look how tiny the screen is, Sean. Look how tiny the interface is in 2026.
Well, yeah, of course, theirs are always this way. The German manufacturers can't build interiors. He could have gotten a sedan. He doesn't need a crossover.
Right.
If he wanted a sedan, a BMW sedan, guess what? His friends would fit in that car. They're made to be ridden in. Okay? But instead, he gets why he needs a crossover, I'll never know. He could just get a car. He could get a perfectly fine sedan, and it would be perfect for Ted.
I'm looking at these options now, and they're not even. This is a 2025. My pickup truck is a 2026. Excuse me. My pickup truck is a 2023. I have better amenities in my pickup truck than he's going to have in his BMW.
Yes, because the way BMWs work is you need the absolute top of the line, which Ted didn't get. He didn't purchase a $120,000 version of this car. He got the $80,000 version. So it doesn't have everything. They never do. I don't know why he's a dope. Why? I hate him. God,
so go ahead.
You should hate him. Everybody should hate him. And if you see him anywhere, you should boo that man. Boo him.
So I'm looking at this one. The sticker is 142,575, which seems absolutely ridiculous to me. And a lot of these features that they're talking about here, you just kind of get with cars nowadays. Like, here's the question I would ask you, Sean. What is the benefit other than owning a BMW and saying I own a BMW over him going to Hyundai or going to one of these Japanese manufacturers and just saying, I'd like the best SUV you have, spending $45,000 less and riding off the lot? Like, is there any practical benefit for it?
No, zero. Okay, what makes these so expensive, especially the one you're looking at, is look, the engine, the suspension, the transmission, it's all excellent. It's all shit Ted doesn't care about at all. He's never racing this car. He doesn't care how it handles. It matters zero to him. He came from a Lexus. If you're looking for like a reasonably priced luxury vehicle that like makes sense, they're probably the best currently. Otherwise, you are literally just buying the name BMW for shit that he doesn't care at all about.
Look how tiny this car is. I mean, even if you're a man of smaller stature, like just this, I hate to say it, but there's a mental component to it as well when you're driving a larger vehicle. Sean, you drive a tiny truck for fucking work. You look miserable every time you get out of it. Like,
horrible.
Just occupying, the spatial area around you with your automobile, it has its benefits, including confidence and merging and getting on and off of highways. Like, I've always wondered how people navigate that when they buy a Fiat or they buy a smart car or what is a Prius or one of these smaller options.
Maybe Ted's one of these people that actually genuinely couldn't manage a larger vehicle. He comes off as somebody who probably can't drive.
Right. He can't drive.
Right. So look, him being in a larger vehicle is an even bigger danger to the rest of us. And if he's more at risk in that little car, well, I'm all for it. I can't wait. My favorite thing is going to happen in 5 years because he's going to take it for a service and he's going to call. You're not going to believe this. They want $8,000 to do this service. They all need the most outrageous, the most expensive service you've ever heard of at about 50,000 miles. And
why is that? Just because it's German engineering?
Yes. Yeah, it's crazy. So that's why all the ones that you don't see older ones that are like nice. Basically, people just get rid of them, but Ted holds on to things.
Sure.
Like rich people just get a new one. They don't even deal with that.
Well, the point being though is, and again, no one that's going to sit down and listen to this, whatever it ends up being, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, is going to say, wow, Dukes is really happy for Ted. I am. The hardest thing in the world it is for Ted to do is break a pattern, and he also hates spending money. And he did both of those things, Sean. That's why, I'm not as angry about it as you are. He did both of those things, and now he has a nicer automobile with 2026 amenities. He can hook his phone to his fucking GPS and hook it up to his interface in his car. That's something. He didn't have that before. He had a cord running from an 1/8-inch jack that you can't even buy anymore because they don't make the dongles.
But he drove a 20-year-old car. He could have bought the cheapest Kia made,
yes,
and had the amenities that he didn't have in his previous vehicle.
Yes,
and everything would have been an upgrade.
Well, that's a great point. And the other part about it is, and maybe I'm fucking. I think sometimes I walk around. If you just walk around in your own thoughts for long enough, that you'll just assume that people are thinking like you. And that's just not the case. People don't think like you, and you need to acknowledge that. And I think that's why when Donald Trump wins an election and you're living in Arlington, you just can't fathom that fucking happened, because everybody around you thinks and lives and breathes and sleeps like you. So it comes as quite a shock. As a heterosexual man, and I no pejoratives here though, how can you walk onto a car lot and point at a tiny white SUV? And Sean, Ant-Man has done this since we've known him. Dick Smokehand has done this since we've known him. The Tube has done this since we've known him. There's been dozens of guys that I've known. They walk onto the CarMax or to the Jerry's Ford Makes It Clear, Let the Competition Beware, or they're over there going down on Crystal Coons, whatever it is the fuck they're doing. And they say, I got to have that tiny white crossover SUV thing. Just as a dude, as a toxically masculine dude, I could never make that decision for myself.
Yeah, the crossovers, I think, make perfect sense for women. They need a little bit more room than a car offers, but they can't handle an SUV. But as a man, I don't understand it. I go, if you don't want a full-size SUV, okay, but why wouldn't you purchase a sedan? They make very nice sedans that are, I don't, this thing that Ted's driving doesn't sit up any higher than a sedan. It is
That's a great point.
It is a sedan. It's just somehow worse and smaller.
How did they shift? I don't know how much you know about marketing and cars, but how did they shift? We went from, I got to have a Navigator, I got to have an Expedition, I got to have a Hummer, these massive sport utility vehicles. And then it went to the Xterra and the 4Runner, and okay, they're a little bit smaller, fine. It all stems from, I assume, the Bronco, right? I assume that's the first sport utility vehicle for the most part. But that's not what this is. If you went to Ted and said, buy a station wagon, he'd be like, oh, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. That's what he fucking has. It's a station wagon.
Right.
How did they get over on us? This is like Chipotle convincing millions of fat women that their food is healthy. And I need to know how that happened. That marketing is so goddamn powerful. We've convinced millions of people that these tiny little fucking crossovers are some way akin to you buying an SUV that can drive a full family around.
It's very interesting. I think what happened is that the manufacturers needed an offering between sedan and SUV. They're still really, actually, genuinely not that popular. It's just in your circle somehow everyone buys one.
I don't know, man.
But they're not everywhere. Most people want an SUV or they want a car. They don't want something in the middle that offers them none of what the other offers, because that's what these are. Again, if you've ever been in a full-size BMW sedan, they're comfortable. They're big. The crossover is not that. I don't even know that they make a true full-size SUV. It's interesting because I don't think I've ever worked on one. They're all small. They don't offer a big one, I don't think.
Who?
BMW.
Oh, I'm just talking in general. They offer them.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, Lexus makes them, Ford makes them, Jeep, whoever. Everybody makes them.
I'm looking at the Genesis Prestige sedan is what I'm looking for right here.
Oh, that's a Highline, that's the Highline Hyundai offering.
Okay, but it's not. The point being is that it's not a fucking SUV. But you're right. I'm already looking at it, and it already looks like there's more room for what you're trying to do with your life.
It's way bigger. They're all They have more room inside.
Well, then what are we? Do you think people just? I'm telling you, man. I think because it's the word sedan, I think puts people off. I'm not talking about Ted at this point now. I think people think that, and they think they're driving a Fleetwood Brom. Why this guy is reviewing a black car in the middle of the night, I'll have no fucking idea. But this is way slicker, and the price point, the entry point, looks way lower too. Well, not way lower, but definitely lower.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that Ted did any, like, shopping. Like, it just can't be. Like, he must have gotten it in his head that he wanted a BMW for some reason and gone there and he bought a car.
All right. DC Sports Mark, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Much appreciate you being here, buddy. And thank you for supporting the show monetarily. Okay, here is why we're here today. Ted botching buying a new car is nothing that should surprise anybody that's at all familiar with the situation. But this is something you need to be aware of. This is this is Brian and Neil. And if we're talking about the type of person that would be unable to fit into this car, I would have to assume, Sean, that these two would be 1 and 1A of the way you would describe said person. If you wanted to make an argument against buying this car because a lot of your passengers are going to be uncomfortable. Is that fair to say without it being some sort of an insult?
Absolutely. Yes. Hi. I would not fit in this car. I don't fit in them.
So, that's what brings us to where we are today. I put in a phone call to Ted before I clicked go live here today. And I said, Ted, I've seen your new car. I'm happy for you. I'm as a friend, I'm a little hurt that you would think that I would be, although I've just been shitting on him for 30 minutes for buying a new car here, so maybe I'm being a little hypocritical, but like I am happy for Ted. Like I'm happy that Ted fucking is going to have something better in his life. But what I'd be really happy to do is take 3 people that I know are of larger carriage and ask them to get into this car and see if they physically can fit inside of it and have Ted drive them around the block. And then videotape that and then see how that goes for everybody. And of course, the 3 people that came to mind, and I hope you don't take offense to this, are you, Neil from Grand Slam Barbecue, and Brian from Natural Red Catering. Now, I'm not going to tell you who goes in the front and who goes in the back. I'm going to let you boys draw straws. Or
it won't matter. It won't matter.
I'm straight shoot. Do you physically think the 3 of you will? Because this car's supposed to seat 5, I think. 5 human beings. I can't see how, but that's what it claims. Do you think the 3 of you will be able to fit with Ted into this automobile?
I mean, I imagine Ted has to drive with the seat almost all the way forward.
I would have to assume, yes.
Whoever's behind him would have the most room other than the passenger, but the passenger's going to... Look, I've worked on these cars. I cannot get in the back seat unless I move the seats all the way forward. I physically can't get in. Like, my head's in the roof. Like, I'm hunched over. Like, it just doesn't work. So, no, I think we can get in it, and then that's it. Ted, we live in Ted's car. I think we're going to be stuck.
We live in Ted's car. So you're worried that you physically get in the thing, but then there will be no extrication. I would hope... Well, I'm trying to think if Brian or Neil could climb over the back and out the hatchback, but I mean, we'd have to take the headrests off, right? To try to fucking get one of those guys over there like that?
If that could be done, sure. Yeah, no, my major concern here is that I get in the vehicle and can never leave.
Corey says the suspension is going to get a workout for that, right? Yeah, I mean, if Ted goes over one speed bump, that's it. He's going to fucking tear the muffler right off the bottom of that bad boy. But that's the point that I don't understand, is that why would you buy, like, Sean, it'd be like these people that buy a tiny house. Like, you're acknowledging that other people, you're not worried about other people at all. And maybe that works for you, but if you ever want to have a guest over, you need to clean out the litter box, right? Like, you need to scrub the toilet. Like, there's things you do to accommodate people you care about in your life. And I would argue that buying a car this small means that you don't give a fuck about anybody else that you encounter because they're not going to be able to take advantage of your new automobile.
Right. Ted is a liar. Ted claims to want friends and friendship.
That's true.
Every action that he takes is contradictory to that. Everything he does shouts, I don't want friends. I don't want you near me. I don't want to take you anywhere. I don't want you in my house. Okay, fine. You twisted my arm.
I don't want you in my house.
Fine, you twisted my arm. You're allowed in my house, but you can't sit on any of my
Well,
couches.
that's true.
I mean,
We've all experienced that.
Right. He doesn't want friends.
There's no way he's going to pick up, but I'm going to call Brian and see if he's down for this. Because that's going to be the true test. And if one of these guys backs out, my backup is Enoch.
Oh, well, that's good.
Hey, Brian. Hello?
This is Brian Walrath with Natural Red Catering. Please leave me a message, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
Hey, buddy, call me back, or I'm going to give your phone number out on the show. Thanks.
To replay your message, press 1. To continue recording, press 2. To delete and re-record your message, press 3. For delivery options, press 4. To mark urgent, press 1. Message marked urgent. To replay your
I didn't know you
message,
could do that.
press 1.
Yeah.
To continue recording,
Hey, buddy, call me back, or I'm going to give your phone number out on the show. Thanks.
to replay your message has been sent.
All right, we're good.
Thank you
Perfect.
for calling.
I didn't know that you could wait through that thing and make it urgent.
Oh, boy. Goth Thug A's Dez says this car is more of a 1 than tabletop gaming. Hey, look. I'm not going to sit here and have the glorious institution of tabletop gaming. Tabletop gaming is the opposite of this car, Sean, because it's all about bringing friends together.
That's right. With clothes on. Okay?
Allegedly.
Well,
See, I got it right here. All right, here's what we can ask the people that are watching the show right now. What is more 1? Is this more 1 or is this more 1?
well, the tiny car is definitely more 1.
And if you're looking for the key, sometimes you need like the codex and you need the password to figure out what the code is. The code for 1 is drab is 1. That way, hopefully, you can figure out what 1 means.
Sorry, if you didn't watch Solid Dudes.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Ted is also 1.
Yeah. Let me call Ted.
Why not a car, Ted? I have to understand why he wouldn't just buy like a 7 Series.
Apparently, Ted, by the way, is violently ill again.
Yeah. What?
I've just never met anyone that has worse health. Him and Lawson are just constantly in the hospital.
Well, Ted is manorexic. I mean, he doesn't eat.
Manorexic.
I mean, he's a twink.
Did you just come up with that?
I've heard it.
No one's ever called either one of us that. Hey,
No.
Ted, you're on the air, buddy.
Okay.
So can you just confirm with Sean, because Sean's here, that you're fine with him and Neil and Brian getting into your new car?
Yeah. I just want to warn them. It will not be an experience like they've ever had in their entire lives. It will be sort of like taking a bear and putting it inside a pill capsule. So we'll see. We'll see if this actually works.
A bear inside of a Dexatrim. I get it. Ted, can I ask you something? Why wouldn't you buy? I know this car fits you, but do you think about others at all when you're buying an automobile that an average size American can't fit in?
Yeah, I mean I do think about others, but it's really just for me and my family, so it's not that big of a deal. And let's be clear, Chad, I really don't think about others that much. I mean, it's maybe a little bit, but for the most part, I'm really thinking about myself and the fact that I need to park it in Arlington, where I live, where I work, and park it in my garage. And all that.
You really have a lot of autism about parking, right? Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I still to this day have not gone to the Harris Teeter in Shirlington just because that parking there is a disaster. So
I have to know.
it just gives me, it just really triggers
Hold
me
on,
when
Ted.
I-
Hold on, Brian. Sean's got a question for you. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
I have to understand why. Did Ted even test drive a sedan, a 7 Series?
Let me ask him. Hey, Sean wants to know, did you bother test driving a sedan, or did you just say, I've got to have another tiny SUV?
No, I immediately started in the tiny SUV category. Like, I don't know if you know this, but they have grand SUVs, they have large SUVs.
I'm aware.
Medium SUVs, small SUVs, and tiny SUVs. And that's what I got, was a tiny.
Do you not plan on traveling anywhere ever? Like going on a road trip?
I mean, I can travel. There's enough trunk space.
There isn't. We just watched the whole video of it. There's no trunk space.
Okay. There's enough. It'll be fine. And, you know,
For
I can put
who?
the seats down if it's just me traveling. So
It's just he just packs a sack full of medium T-shirts with block letter W script on it, and that's all he's got to do.
that's it. That's really all you need on this entire planet. You know.
Hey,
just-
Ted, Sean says you're manorexic. Would you like to respond to that allegation?
I'm not sure. What does that mean, manorexic? That doesn't. Is he implying that I have a complete lack of manliness and I'm okay with it? Is that what it is?
I think it's just more about your stature, more about your size to be able to fit into a car like this.
Oh yeah, that's true. It is very much. I'm a very small person, and therefore my clothes are small and my knees are small. So
My knees are small.
And we know he doesn't eat. I mean, anorexia,
Yeah.
when you
It's
think
really
about
easy.
it,
So it'll
usually,
it'll be,
you know.
Jesus.
cool if they're able to fit in the car.
I got to get rid of him. All right, hot man. Feel better, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
All
it.
right, don't
Talk
watch.
to you
Don't go to YouTube. Whatever you do. All right, thanks.
later. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Oh boy.
He's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, like, I mean, I could convict him of being a horrible person based just off of his 8 seconds of speaking. He
Jim
doesn't
is
think
worse.
about others.
Jim is worse than him and Ant-Man. There's no way you'd win.
I
You
think
can
I could
try.
win.
Listen, now that Jim's not a part of the show, I am more than willing to do the trial. But you got to take Ted. I don't know who's going to take Ant-Man, and I'll take Jim as far as who I'm prosecuting, and I'll bury all of you. I mean, it's not even and now I can go as dirty as I want, and it wouldn't even be. I think I could bury you in my opening statements to the jury. I think you guys would just fucking give up after that.
Ted isn't your friend. He's nobody's friend. I mean, this is my opening statement. He's a fraud.
I don't think he's not a friend because he just buys a tiny, selfish SUV. By the way, that's going to be the name of Monday's episode, Tiny Selfish SUV. All right, I'm getting rid of all these pictures because they're making me too mad. All right, but you're comfortable with at least doing the stunt for the show.
Well, yeah, of course. I'll get in his tiny car. Maybe I'll bring nachos.
Neil's going to be real tough. That'd be nice. Just all of you guys just bring the sloppiest food you can possibly think of. Like, bring a
Chili
hot
cheese
plate.
dog.
You're just warming up cans of fucking beef ravioli in the back. Spark up a butane lighter underneath a can of Dinty Moore beef stew. He'd love for you to do that.
Yeah, he'd be excited.
All right, very good. Yeah, I just had to get it out because once I figured out that's what we're gonna do with his tiny car, like it needs to happen tomorrow. Of course, Neil will probably be flying back and forth to Iceland another baker's dozen amount of times, so it'll be difficult to nail him down.
Well, yeah, I mean, pinning anybody down for this is especially difficult. So,
Well, if we have people coming in for IQ tests on a Tuesday night, then what we just have to do is arrange for Ted to be there with the car in the parking garage, and then he can go down around Chainbridge. And then also you guys can comment. I'm the only one that I know that's actually driven with Ted and seen how completely erratic he is. And Sean, I don't know if you ever drive with people. You're like, how have you not had your license taken away? How have you not been in a fatal car accident? Every time I'm in the car with Ted, that's the only thought that I have.
yeah, Ant-Man. Yeah, I've
Yes.
driven like 100 yards with Ant-Man, and I was shocked. I was like, you can't drive a car.
No.
You should never drive a vehicle ever again in your life.
There's never been more distractive driver than that gentleman. All right, very good. All right, happy birthday to Ant-Man. And Sean, I'll see you later on tonight. You'll be alone, right?
Huh?
Got this beat from DJ Grimy, and you know it's Fuego, dog.